Morning and welcome. We will now have our Pledge of Allegiance led by Dr. Juan Benitez.
Yes, let's rise. My hands over our hearts. Ready?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dr. Benitez. We are now at public testimony on items listed on the agenda. I have no request. Public testimony on items not listed, I have no request. We will go right into new business. Resolution 040620-A, resolution designating Public Works project as an essential governmental function and delegating authority to designate further Public Works project as an essential government function. I'd like to call on Mr. David Miranda.
Yes, thank you, and thank you, members of the board, for having me and allowing me just a few minutes to speak to this agenda item. At about the midpoint of last week, there were 6 counties up in the Bay Area that issued orders to really put additional restrictions on construction out in those areas. And this didn't just implement projects across public works, it did impact school construction and school district construction in those areas. So what we've prepared for your consideration today is a board resolution that would really declare our public works projects, school-specific public works projects, as essential government functions. There's a number of projects we've outlined in Exhibit A that show up on a project list. It's really what we would deem our current active construction work as of today. Also outlines the projects that are scheduled to start this summer, right? So it's quite a few projects that we've outlined, and there's a number of reasons for doing so. For one, in terms of the current projects, we have projects that still have open trenches and open work, right? And we don't want to leave those open as they would really create attractive nuisances in many cases, right? Number two, we want to make sure we have classrooms and workspaces ready for when students and staff return, correct? 3, we want to do our part in terms of stimulating the local and state economy, and we know construction does that in many cases. And last but not least, we know our sites and school district sites across the state are often used as emergency or disaster relief centers, right? So we can only do so and provide those type of spaces if in fact they are complete, right? So in many cases we want to ensure we're continuing with construction, completing those projects that are currently active, and having these spaces ready for a multitude of reasons. There's an Exhibit B attached to this board resolution as well, and this we feel gives us teeth in terms of giving us a document we can relay to our contractors and give to our contractors to ensure that every one of them does in fact adopt the social distancing protocol as outlined in the resolution. Many of the verbiage and language comes from the things we've seen put out by the governor and other folks across the state. Again, this is something we would turn over to contractors effective immediately. There's things outlined such as keeping social distance as contractors are embarking on certain construction-related activities. There's signage requirements, there's reporting requirements. Really one of the biggest factors we see is every one of these construction firms and contracting companies assigning a specific COVID supervisor, right? Where they have this as a specific task to ensure that we are in fact taking this measure seriously. That's really my summary at this point. I can field questions if there's any questions.
Questions?
I was going to move approval.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, David, thank you. I know that in the Exhibit A, there's a list of the projects that this would apply to. Are there any major projects that we either had to suspend and or stop because of the current COVID-19 environment?
There's one project where we've delayed the bid, and that's our Lakewood Gymnasium HVAC project. The project a little smaller in nature. We had put it out in terms of a job walk and sought out interested contractors. There was one plan holder on that one. So we figured, okay, this might be a sign of the times. It's a critical project in terms of we want to get it done, yet it's not time critical, right? So we figured it's probably more cost effective and just effective in many ways to hold back on that one. That's a project we can start at any point during the year, so we could always rebid and seek out additional interest within a few months.
Thank you.
But that is the one.
Okay.
David, maybe
you can start at any time of the year, yet basketball season dictates, it seems to me, when you can begin it.
And that's a great point, Mr. Meyer. you know, the construction window that we had outlined for this specific project was already very tight and could have put that in jeopardy, right? So we figured now it gives us a better window to really identify the best point in time where we could shut down the gymnasium.
Thank you.
And that we would work with the site to identify that time period.
Thank you.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Do a roll call.
Oh, Brent, thank you. Roll call, okay. Mr. Meyer?
Aye.
Dr. Benitez?
Aye.
Ms. Craighead?
Aye.
Ms. Kerr?
Aye.
Aye. The motion is approved unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David.
Okay, is it appropriate to move into closed session? We will now adjourn to closed session. Oh, seeing no members of the public present, we will now adjourn to closed session.